Hello, hello. I haven't been in action for a little bit of time. I've just been setting things up. But today, I've decided to change my repertoire. I'm gonna start making videos from inside my living space, no longer outside in the wild world of wonkiness. So, I had an acting teacher. It was like 5 years ago. His name started with a W. I remember. It was like Wolford or something. He was an older gentleman in his 80s. And he was like, Constantine, when you give an answer, never make it sound like you're asking a question. Or anytime you cross my legs, what are you crossing your legs for, Constantine? And things such as this. And I remember I had an issue, I still have an issue looking people around now when I communicate with them. But he was like, anytime I looked out of his eyes, he would kind of like snip at me and be like, what are you doing, Constantine? And I was like, okay. And then he also like taught me some art and drawing, which was pretty cool. But I remember one of the things that he told me was like, Constantine, he wanted to kind of get, like, I would draw some, and then he'd be like, oh, that's good. And then one thing that he wanted me to try is like understand Shakespeare, because he was a drama guy. He was like an old school drama guy, like the type of drama guy who was like, he didn't like movies because they were cut too short, and they weren't about like the performance. And he used to tell me about old movies where actors back in the 40s and 50s would jump and run up and down the staircase and they wouldn't not stop the scene. They'll have be recorded constantly for like 30 to 40 minutes straight. And he'd be like, you know what, Constantine, that's where it's at. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. It's like, so he never liked the new stuff, cut a scene in 50, 30 seconds and it was over. But I remember one of the things that he told me, he's like, Constantine, do you want to build your confidence? Do you want to be able to act, being able to express your emotions and not just be like this all the time? And he was like, it's freeing. It's like you can just like, I think he mentioned somewhere that like to be able to educate or to be able to have knowledgeables, to be able to like release the knowledge. And one of the things that he told me to read was the Sonnets by William Shakespeare. I should never say his full name, it's kind of lame. It's like just Shakespeare. Everyone knows who Shakespeare is, hopefully. So I'm gonna take my shot at reading the sonnets. There's some words that kind of like what are those about? I had to like Google them and had to read them and then be like, okay, I get it a little bit. So this is me going over some of the sonnets, the first 5. Okay, bear with me. Okay, here we go. From the fairest creature, we desire from fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty rose might never die, but as ripe should by time decease, his tender hair might bear his memory. But thou, contracted thou thy own bright eyes, feast thy light's flame with self-substantial fuel, making famine where abundance lies, thyself thy foe, to thy sweet self too cruel, thou that art now the world's fresh an ornament, and only herald to the gaudy spring. Within thy own bud, Brutus, thy contents and tender, cruel mass wastes in niggardling pity the world, or else this glutton be to eat the world's due by the grave and thee. Okay, now we're going on to Sonnet 2. This is going to be an exercise of the mind. Hopefully, by the time I get to the next sonnet, the next sonnet, and the next sonnet, I'll have more rhyme and rhythm. And eventually, hopefully when I'm in the end, or the ultimate goal is to have fluidity in speech and to have more confidence in my grammar and stop giving answers like I'm asking a question. So we are on to Sonnet 2. In the 40s, when 40 winters shall besiege thy brow and dig deep trenches in thy beauty fields, the youth, proud livery, so gazed on now, will be tattered weed of small worth held. Then, being asked where all thy beauty lies, where all the treasures and thy lusty days, to say within thine own deep sunken eyes, where in all eating shame and thriftless praise, how much more praise deserved thy beauty uses, if thy cloudless answer, their fair child of mine, shall sum my counts and make my old excuse, proving his beauty by succession thine. This where to be new, made when thou art old, and see thy blood warm when thou felt'st it cold. Whew. Now to Sonnet 3. Look in thy glass until the face thou viewest. Now is the time that face should form another, whose fresh repair, if now thou not renewest, thou dost beguile the world's unboundless, unbless some other. For where if she so fair, who unheard womb disdain the tillage of thy husbandry, or who is he so found, will be the tomb of his self-love, to stop postasy. Thou art thy mother glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou, through those windows of thine age, shalt see, despite of wrinkles, this thy golden time. But if thou live, remember not to be thy single, and thy image dies with thee. Now we're on to Sonnet 4. That was a little bit dense, or probably to me anyways. Unthrifty loveliness, why dost thou spend upon thyself thy beauty legacy? Thy beauty legacy? Nature bequests give nothing, but douse lends. And being frank, she lends to those are free. Then bountiness, niggarding, why douse thou abused the bounteousness, largeness given thy to give, profitless usury, why dost thou use so great a sum of sums, yet canst not live? For having traffic with thyself alone, thou, they sweet self dost deceive. And how, when nature calls thee to be gone, what acceptable audit canst thou leave? Thy unused beauty must be tombed with the which use Livens executioner to be. Now we're on to Sonnet 5. There's lots of truck through. Let's do this. Let's go. Those hours with gentle work did frame a lovely glaze, where every eyes doth dwell, will play the tyrants to very same, and that unfair which fairly doth excel. For never resting time leads summer on to hideous winter, and confounds him there, sap checked with frost and lusty leaves, quiet gone, beauty o'ersnowed, and barrenness everywhere. Then with not summer distillation left, liquid prisoners hence in the walls of glass. Beauty affects with beauty, where perfect, nor no remembrance what it was, but flowers distilled through thy with winter's meats lose, but their substance still lives sweet. Okay. Okay, thank you for joining me in my read, or my attempted read, on the Sonnets of Shakespeare. This is going to be a continuing series. I'm going to try to put out 2 a day, so 10 sonnets, and I will prepare and read until I get the sound and definitions of the rhythm right. Or I'm going to truck through it. Okay, thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye, and have a nice day. Do-do-do-do.